welcome back to my channel. My name is Yana. I'm one of the registered nurses here in Australia. I live currently in state Queensland and I do create videos with the nursing content in it. I try to share my experience and a little bit of education for you guys, especially for those of you who just start in the nursing career. And I also like to do videos about the product or items that I like and buy, to review them and show you my honest opinion. And in today's video I'm going to be talking to you guys about one of the topics that you have actually chosen. So I think it was a week ago when I've posted like a YouTube post asking you guys what do you want me to talk about in my next videos, because I want to highlight things that not just I come across when I'm practicing as a registered nurse, but I also want to make it more interactive with you guys on the topics that you're interested in and you want me to talk about. So some of you have suggested a few things to talk about and I have chosen one for this video. So the one that we will be talking about today, I'm just going to open the post. So one of the subscribers, she suggested to talk about possibilities and struggles of doing nursing for students who have a commerce subject background without actually having science background. That's actually me, pretty much in a nutshell. If you have been watching me for some time, I'm not an Australian. Well, I have a citizenship here now, but I wasn't born in this country here. And you can hear from my accent, of course, English is not my first language, it's my second language. And I was born in Ukraine. I have few backgrounds mixed in my parents and my grandparents. I have Jewish blood in me, I have Russian blood, Slavic, you know, quite a few things there. I have Poland blood as well from my dad's side, and more like a Russian Siberian blood from my Nana's side, my grandmother. So yeah, and then I moved here to Australia nearly 14 years ago. I left Ukraine like in 2005, quite a long time, but then I stayed in different countries and then I moved here. Okay, so it's been a big journey for me and now I'm settling here. I really like my life here in Australia, so I have my now second career and my second high education here in Australia. Okay, so a little bit about my education back in my country, because this is why I said that my experience is actually very relevant to the topic that one of my subscribers want me to talk about. So back in my country, I do have a university degree there because it's very, very popular in my country to have a college or university degree if you want to have a good job. It's like a must thing. High school is not enough unless you want to work like somewhere like in the market selling things, you know, or like something very like a small jobs, you know, that won't require you have education in a college or in a university. But majority of young people of course want to have something at least, you know, to have a good income. So yeah, so I did not go to college. I finished my high school. Back then it was 11 years, not 12 as it is now. So I completed fully my high school. Then I had a summer break and then I went to uni the following year. Okay, so I didn't have like any major breaks between my high school and the uni. I went right to the uni when the opening dates started. And my grandmother, she put me during the summer break to secretary courses. It was funny enough, my grandmother, she used to work for the mayor of the city back then. She was a really active woman, you know, and they had these free courses to those who wanted to complete it. So she thought, okay, I have this 3 months break, because in Ukraine we have like a summer break between the school and any type of studies. We have like a huge summer break of 3 months, and usually it starts from the end of May. So you have your June, July and August, and then usually any type of education, your school, your uni, your college, starts in the 1st of September. So it's a little bit different to Australia, where here we have it like from mid of December break, which is our summer break, because the seasons here are opposite, till about middle or beginning of February, when is your normal year, like a school year or a university year starts. So it's completely different. So yeah, back in my country I had it like for 3 months. So I went to these courses, you know, and I've got a certificate, don't remember the number of certificates back then, to become a secretary, so which is equivalent here in Australia like an admin job. So I could type documents, you know, I knew some sets of law and all of that, you know. So they teach you like a secretary business, you know, how to handle all the paperwork, how to handle the phone calls and all of that. Okay, so I've done that, and then I went to uni starting in September. Okay, so it was pretty hectic for me, you know, but my grandmother, she wanted the best for me, as all nanas do, and yeah, that was her plan. So she got for me this course for free, actually, through her work, so I didn't pay anything, so that was pretty cool. And then I started my uni. So my uni was a economic faculty, and I was studying there in a specialty of management. Okay, so it was like economics. Okay, nothing to do with science at all. And my uni is funny enough as well. My uni was an international Kyiv art and culture university, if I'm trying to recall the full name correctly. So back in school, from year 6 till 7, 8, 9, 10 till 10, I had 4 years in an art school. So I was doing my normal school, and then I was going after my morning classes in the normal school. I was traveling across the city to an art school 3 times a week, to have another 3 to 4 hours evening classes in an art school, which was a government school. That one was paid and stuff. So my father, he was an artist up until today. He loves to paint. He had his gallery in Kyiv and all of that. And my family decided that I want to be an artist too. So I had little to say when I was in grade 6. I was still like a kid. So against my will, pretty much, they put me in art school. Okay, so I've done 4 years in art school, which first year, and I should say maybe the first 2 was a struggle for me. And then kind of like by mid year of a second year, or maybe towards the end, I started to have a bit of more passion and love to art, and I actually started to enjoy, you know, drawing and painting. And we also had the sculpture classes where we could work with clay and all of that. So I kind of loved it, you know. And then year 3 and 4, I was fully enjoying it, like absolutely loved it. I was really enjoying my time in there. So I finished my art school, and then I went to this art university, but sadly enough, I did not choose any art faculty there, because I'll tell you why. Like, my family, they said to me, look, it's gonna be like really hard for you to earn your living from it. Okay, they wanted me to still preserve this in me, to have ability to draw as my father had it, you know, but they didn't want me to make a living out of it. Okay, so they said, okay, you can go to that uni if you want to. It was really prestige, really nice. It was a private uni, really prestige and nice university. It was freaking expensive. My family was helping me to pay for it. And I went there for economics. And economics, like back then in Ukraine, and probably now as well, like anything to do with law, medicine, or economics, finances, it was one of the top paid faculties. Okay, they were really expensive. Okay, really expensive. So I went to do the economics. I've completed my bachelor. I've completed my 4 years there. I didn't want to do the masters. I traveled after that abroad with my partner back then, which is my ex-partner now. So I traveled abroad, but yeah, I've completed my economics. Of course, I didn't have any subjects for science in it at all, because it's completely different degree. I did have like a biology and physiology and all of that back in the school, which was a base for me, which was great. But as you can see from my experience, I did not have any science background at all. Then I moved here in Australia, you know, I worked in different fields, and then I decided that I want to be in a clinical / medical field. This is something that I had a passion for, and I wanted to proceed. Like, even back in Ukraine, I wanted to become a doctor back then. I think I mentioned this in one of my videos. I wanted to become a doctor, But the reason why I did, two reasons why I didn't become a doctor. First, it was really expensive. Second, it was like the most expensive, one of the most expensive faculties in Ukraine, you know, the medical one. And then the second reason, my city didn't have that faculty back then. None of the universities in my city would provide this faculty. Maybe now they do, I'm not sure, but back then, it's like how many years ago, they didn't, okay? So I needed to travel to a different city. I think it was Donetsk back then, who had it, and I needed to pay obviously for the studies and for accommodation, you know, and for all the expenses that I needed to have in that city, unless you apply for a free room in a student building, you know, which you have to be lucky to get. So my family said, like, don't get bothered, you know, it's too expensive, it's too complicated, just do economics, you will still earn well, you know. And I did. I worked in a really good companies. I was studying and working at the same time in Ukraine, you know. I was working as admin, as secretary, you know, in different companies. They weren't like economics based yet because I was still getting my degree, but I was already setting my foot in an office, you know, thanks to that small secretary course that my grandmother put me on, you know. So I was able to work in an office, you know, and do a little bit of management as well when I was having my position as an admin in one of the private schools. So it was like a school slash early development center. And admin in Ukraine is not exactly as it's here in Australia. It's a little bit different. You do a little bit more management there when you're admin. It's not just like a simple paperwork. You actually manage a team, you know. So that was really, really cool for me. Like, I like remembering now, recalling those jobs that I had in Ukraine. I miss it so much because I do love office work as much as I like the clinical side that I'm in now, currently in Australia. So yeah, so then when I decided to be a clinician here in Australia, it was a completely different degree for me, okay? Completely different subjects and stuff to what I had back. So the question like that my subscribers asking, the struggles, I did not struggle at all. Maybe for me personally, why I did not struggle is because I do have a genuine interest to science, okay? Anything to do with biology, you know, physiology, anatomy, pathophysiology, pharmacology, you know, when it comes to nursing, you know, and medicine in general. I do have a really high interest to it, you know. It's something that I wasn't struggling to learn again, you know. I really like it, you know. I was so fascinated about every topic that we discussed in class, every lecture that was provided to us online, you know, the assessments that I was doing. I really enjoyed it, you know. So for me, it was fine, okay. Just the load in the university by itself was quite heavy and hectic as any other uni. That was probably the struggle for me and for any student who would do a bachelor degree, because it's just like, it's a lot of effort needs to be put in, a lot of time needs to be dedicated to reading, you know, to memorizing things, to do your assessments, you know, to write your essays. But as I said, it's the same for every degree, okay? So for me, as you can see, having a different background with my first university and having now my clinical kind of career did not make much of impact or a difference to me. Like, I did not struggle much. You know, to me, it was a new beginning. Put it that way. For me, it was a new beginning. So my advice to those of you who do have a different background and you changing completely your careers into nursing, first of all, I would assume you do have already a genuine interest in this field and you do want to become a nurse. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it in the first place. Because if you want to become a nurse and you already have a first degree, you would be probably somewhere in your middle age, maybe 30s. So it would be your you know, your solo decision, your decision that you're making, you know, consciously about it. It's not like someone, you know, like your parents are pushing you to do it because you're a teenager, you know, and you're like thinking, oh, I don't know yet what I want to do, but my parents suggesting for me to do this because from their experience it's the best choice. But, you know, if you're having a second degree, I assume you would be somewhere in your mid-30s, you know, or maybe like older. So you know what you're doing, and obviously you're either after your genuine interest to this field, or maybe you want to earn more. And look, I'm not shy to say that. Like, let's look at the doctors. A lot of doctors go into medical field not just for the sake of them loving this field and this profession in general, but they want to earn good money and they want to secure the financial situation for the rest of their life, as long as they physically can perform this job, right? So they do go there for money, you know. So whatever your reason is for nursing, you know, I would assume you're doing it consciously, you know. So my advice to you as well, when you do nursing, just remember, nursing is such a profession that you need to have a compassion to your patients, okay? You need to have a sympathy, you need to have a compassion, you need to develop skills and have them in you, as well as an understanding, you know, because they come in a vulnerable state when they are sick, you know, and you need to have these qualities in you. And if you don't have it, try to develop it, you know, or try to at least understand that you will need to have it and grow it in you, because if you're purely doing nursing for money, you're not gonna last long, okay? Because nursing, on the top of all of these beautiful things that you will have there, is a very hard job. It's a physically draining, it's a mentally draining, you know. You're dealing with so much of traumas that people come with, you see so much. The load is hard as well, because you might have really heavy patients on a day. You might have few of them, you know, like between your 4 patients that you're looking after, you might have 2-3 of them really heavy, or start suddenly to decline. So your day-to-day is going to be different, you know, so it's not easy. So just remember that when you go into nursing. And also what I also wanted to mention is that when you starting your journey to nursing career and you're thinking about studying, you know, whether it's a diploma of general nursing or whether it's a bachelor of nursing science, they do not require you to have a biology or a science background. They encourage it, and if you do have it, it's good if you have it, but if you don't have it, you can still enroll, no problem at all. All what they want you to do is the English test and the math test, because you need to know how to calculate the medications. And the English test is because the study goes in depth. You need to know your English, you need to know it on a certain level. And then when you deal with your patients, with the team, you know, with your management, you know, you need to have a certain level as well of your English to understand what's happening and to express yourself, you know. And it's not just express yourself in a general English, but also from the medical point. You need to understand, you know, the description of conditions, the medication, and all of this in English. So it's not just your daily English that you talk with, you know, with your bodies, you know. It's a clinical English, you know, so that's why they need you to have academic English test prior your studies, if you're like me, not an Australian born or English country born resident. Okay, so I hope my experience and a little bit of background about me have helped those of you who probably on the same page as me, starting now your nursing career, or maybe thinking into going into studying nursing, you know, with a bachelor or diploma. You know, it's not that bad if you don't have science degree, guys, okay? You can still pursue this career, okay, as long as you have a general interest in nursing. That's all what you need, dedication and the interest in this field, okay? Just go for it and you will be fine. As I said, I was enjoying my classes for anatomy, physiology, pathophysiology, pharmacology. I was genuinely enjoying it and having so much fun in classes, just to listen to all of this, anything to do with human conditions, you know, and how the medications react in the body, you know, when applied to certain conditions for treatment options, what's happening in the body when you have, for example, sepsis or cancer or hypertension, you know, or hypoglycemia or whatever. It was so interesting for me to know what processes are happening in the body, you know, and the symptoms that the person might feel when they're having a certain condition, you know, or what the treatment options for this condition is so good. Also, I want to share with you guys something very useful that I found for myself. There is a platform online, it's called My MOOC, I think. I'm gonna bring it up here on the screen. So in this platform is for free, and if you go to TAFE website or to university website, they would actually refer to this platform as a free database where you can find a lot of science info and content if you want to bring back your knowledge, you know, from the high school or whatever, you know, for biology and anatomy and physiology and all of that. So this platform is really unique. So you can go there by the categories, and you can choose what category you are interested in. For example, I'm interested in medicine and health. You can open that category, and there you can see like a subcategories as well. They have nursing, they have health, they have well-being and all of that. And when you go to one of them, you can find lots of courses. All of these courses are free. Okay, and they contain reading materials, they contain video materials, they contain discussions and communication between the members on this platform, like you and me, you know. And the only thing that is differs free content on this platform to the paid one is that when you choose a course, like pretty much everything there is for free, but when you choose a course, okay, it gives you times to study set by the platform itself. Okay, so for example, I have chosen here for ICU, intensive care unit program. Okay, so it's a small course, goes for a few weeks, but as you can see here, the dates are set for me by the platform. So every date they have a certain amount of content that they're gonna release for me, and the course is gonna be ending in March. Okay, if I didn't finish reading everything by that date, the course is gonna be closed. Then what differs free content from the paid one? In a paid one, you can self-paced your studying. You can choose the dates, and it's unlimited. You don't have to finish course in 3 weeks time, for example, as it's set up for you by the platform. You can finish it anytime you want. Okay, but I never do the paid one. I always do the free one. Okay, and if you can't finish it in the same time, you can just enroll again, re-enroll yourself again in a course, and just wait. Yes, it's a little bit uncomfortable, but it's still free. So if one of you guys want to like go and just refresh your knowledge about certain science topics, you know, that you might be needing for your nursing degree, just go to this platform and do it. And you can enroll in many courses, like as many as you want. There is no limitation at all, as long as you just like keep up by yourself, you know, setting up the time for yourself to sit down and actually read and study. I'm a visual person, and I like video content more than reading. You know, I like to read books because it's a physical object that you can hold in your hands. But when it comes to like screens, I like audio and video. Video would be my top one because as I said, I'm a very visual person. Then audio would be second, and then reading would be third option for me. Okay, so these courses here, they are a mix of everything. They have audios there as well if you want to. Okay, so just go and check them out, you know, register there for free, have your account on it. You also have an option there to flag the courses and save it to your kind of like favorites or whatever, or to enroll to it later. So if you come across anything on a dashboard, if you're like genuinely looking, or if you went to a particular category, you know, and you found something that you might want to study later on, you can just flag it for yourself and save it in your favorites, you know, and it will stay there, and you can come back to it again and enroll into a course. So this is one of the options. And also YouTube by itself like has so much of information these days that you can refresh your knowledge for biology and science just here on YouTube for free, and people give legit information here, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, I hope I answered the question in this video. I hope my experience have helped you guys. I wish you all the best. Look, it's not scary at all. Just go for it, you know, and do it. Just literally go for it and do it as I've done it. And as you can see, I've completed my degree and I'm fine. I'm completely fine. I absolutely enjoyed it, and it was brilliant, and I love it so much. And I always say on my Instagram as well, like, I would never regret becoming a nurse up until today, even though like I have really hectic days at my work, but I would never regret becoming a nurse because I love it to the bottom of my heart. And yeah, I think it's the best profession for me, and I'm happy that even in my like late 30s, well, I started when I was like beginning of my 30s, but like what I have now in my 38, I'm 38 years of age, like I'm so happy about what I have achieved now and what I can achieve in the future, you know. I don't know why my camera is going so light. And a lot of you ask me as well in the comment section below under my videos, how many students did you have in your class who were like over 40 and 50? Guys, I had a lot, like quarter of the class when I was doing my diploma of general nursing, we had people over 40 and 50 years old. And some of them, well, I would say like probably half of that quarter were people who worked as carers and they wanted to become nurses, okay? And we had people who came from admin. I had one lady that I was quite close when we were studying. She was, I think, 45 or 46, no, 44. She was 44-year-old. She worked in an office all her life, and then out suddenly like that, she decided to switch careers and become an enrolled nurse, and she completed a degree. She was one of the really good students, you know. It wasn't hard for her to study at all in terms of like of the gist and materials. It was a little bit hectic just from the load itself, as I always say, but like she done really well. Yeah, so she was one of the examples who came from completely different background, you know, working for so many years and then switching it to nursing. And yeah, if you have more questions you want me to highlight in my videos, leave them under this video in the comment section below, because I read all your comments and I'll try to bring it up in my next video. For now, I'll see you next time. Bye.